fanatics, and welcome to a early Saturday night edition of, I haven't said this in a long time, Spirited Chats was what the show was once originally called. I'm your host, Mr. Fedora, and I try to do these shows at least every other Saturday night. And when I do these shows, either we're doing live investigations for paranormal ghost hunting, or we bring on guests like we have Paul tonight to join us. So grab a snack and join me and the rest of the paranormal fanatics as we dive into the mystic paranormal. And without further ado, let's add Paul. Hello, Paul.
Hi, everybody. All right?
I hope you're doing well tonight.
I'm great, thank you.
I appreciate the quick acknowledgement of my messages and willing to come on so quick as you did.
Yeah, no problem.
I literally reached out to you on Thursday.
And, Thursday. Yeah, it's not a problem, Scott. It's good to be asked to come on. For quite honest, so looking forward to it.
Well, I've been asking you for a little bit to be on the show, if you remember.
Yeah.
And then life stuff came up for everybody, and just never could make pace, make it work. But I see your pages, and you guys are quite active a lot.
Yeah, we try to be a bit different to other groups over here. We do cover different subjects and issues, and like tonight, his son and his girlfriend has done a tarot evening where she does tarot cards for people. That's free. We don't charge nothing, and then we have like little chats, and we try and mix it up a bit for people, because not everybody likes investigations. Everybody likes ghost stories or like tarot evenings, or we just try and mix it up, Scott, to be quite honest. So that's why we try and keep as active as we can.
And you do a wonderful job at it.
Thank you very much.
I'm always entertained when I go to your Facebook and such, and I get notifications you're live. And the nice thing for me is about the time I'm starting work is about the time you guys are getting certain things going on and such. So while everybody else is asleep, I'm tuning in. But
that's good.
Lee says, welcome.
Hi, Lee.
He is a co-founder of our group, and he has an easy question for you.
I like easy questions.
It should be simple enough. Can you see those, or?
I can see. Is that 7 Eastern time or UK time? That's it's midnight in UK. Yeah, it's midnight here. Well, 12. So it's actually Sunday morning here now. So
nice. And and that's another thing when we're doing these shows in the States, that when we talk to people in the UK or in different areas of the world, we gotta keep in mind of the time differences. Not only that, even just within the States itself, we have the different hours as you go from east to west. So sometimes, and I guess that was meant for me.
Yeah.
Lee likes.
See, we don't realise that, because obviously over UK we've not got a time difference. We're a really small country, so we don't realise in America how different and how far it is, and your time differences. We don't have to deal with that. So it's a bit difficult, isn't it?
It's 7 o'clock here on the East Coast, and I believe it's like 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock on the West Coast. So they still have daylight while we're
your dog.
Yeah, Lee likes to mess with me because I'm a bus driver and I'm on time a lot for my job. But once I'm clocked out, who knows what time I'm.
I'm glad because over at buses are terrible, Scott. They're never on time. Don't even turn up sometimes. So your service is better.
I'm within 2 to 3 minutes of my run.
That's good.
At each stop, I'm usually pretty close to it, unless it's weather related or vehicle broke down. I'm pretty close. I tend to let myself run a few minutes late so people have more time to catch it.
Yeah.
But that's just my nature, is trying to give people every possibility there is.
That's good.
Yeah, especially in that situation. I feel I was a bus passenger before I was a bus driver, and so I got the experience of both sides. So I understand how that is. So yeah, it amazes me. I believe I was going to ask you about the whole different time zones and over there, if you had them or not. So I suppose you don't do daylight saving either as well, huh?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Okay.
We put out clocks forward and back and stuff like that. And like I say, we're close to Europe, but Europe and France, I think France is like an hour in front of us. That's the only time difference we have. So travel just over Channel and about half an hour, and they have got a different, only an hour time difference to what we've got. So yeah, we do put clocks forward and backwards.
So has that, well, see, now that's another thing I was going to ask. Has that ever affected you back when cell phones were based on free time after, say, 9 o'clock? Were you ever to the point where you thought it was early or later and the time zone made it different? But once again, you guys don't have to deal with all that.
No, that sounds a bit. No, never had to deal with that at all. No, quite lucky, I think, that sounds of it.
Well, it was something that I learned kind of quick with my first cell phone bill. I was an over-the-road truck driver, so I was hitting the different time zones. And back home, it was 9 o'clock, where it was free calling home. Where I was at was 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and so they charged me on where I was at. So my bill was quite high that first month until I realized what happened.
So you got used to it.
Yeah. Just little things you get used to. So I kind of mentioned this backstage, and for those that are tuning in and such, if some of these questions don't seem like myself or seems a little it's wordy and such, it's because I've used AI, artificial intelligence, to come up with some questions for you as well, if you're game.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I will say that I went through them. There's no zingers. There's nothing that's going to be, did you cheat on your science exam in the 5th grade? Nothing like that.
Nothing like that, no. Probably a yes for that.
Only once, but nothing you can prove. So, what is, if you don't mind, explain who you are and the history of your team a little bit. Yeah,
of course. Well, we're called Mystic Paranormal UK. Like I said, we are based in the UK. We are based in the Midlands. We are from Derbyshire, which is centre of the UK. The team at the minute exists of myself, my son, and my son's girlfriend, who is the medium. She's very good for her age. She's only 17, and she's really good and really coming on with it. My son Ben, he does all the technology side of it, the camera work, puts videos together, and history, and he does some investigation with me as well. He finds locations. I've been in paranormal now for about 21 years on and off. We used to belong to another team before there was Facebook or anything like that. We used to go. There's a big place haunted location here. It's called Plesley Mills, which are old cotton mills. And we had the run of them every last Friday of the month, which were brilliant. You didn't even have to pay to go in. It were great mills. We used to take tours around there. Of course, my 2 sons came along, so we stepped back from the paranormal. And then just through COVID, when we got COVID, Ben says, "Oh, do you fancy going on some investigations like you used to do, years ago, Dad?" I says, "Yeah, we'll do that." Because we were only allowed 2 people to go out of the house at the time, so it was great. And we said, what we can do, we can actually live stream it on Facebook. And I didn't know nothing about this. So his nonna could watch us, and his granddad and people who couldn't get out. And that's where we've gone from. So he started this Facebook page, Mystic Paranormal UK, went out during COVID. did little investigations. It were like family, friends who couldn't get out, they're watching us, and we've just grew from there. Like I said, I've been passionate for years with the paranormal, and Ben for the last six years, he's been, he's really got into it. He's quite clever, he's quite more scientific than what I am, but we just really enjoy it. We'll go out there, you find us as we are. There's no show or nothing like that, and we go out to places. We don't always get activity,
no,
and that's the key part. But we've got a great bunch of people that follow us, and we're all like-minded, and we open to anything, open to questions from anybody, and we even invite. We're one of many groups who even invite members who follow us, or anybody who wants to try investigate it, come with us for free. So we'll just get like somebody I work with. Oh, can I come and have a look? I don't know what you do. I don't understand it. Can I come out and have a look with you? And we invite them along, and they come and, experience investigating with us as well. So we are an approachable, friendly group. I hope. No, we are. Yeah, we are. But that's basically what we are. That's basically, Scott.
Every time I've spoke to you, even before you were part of the P3 program, because we had networked a little bit beforehand. You've always been receptive, and when I've been to your live shows and such, I chat in the chat, and within moments, you guys are pretty quick on replies and such. So
I think it's important, Scott. I think it's important to treat people who's took the time to actually view your content and to reply to people. We do, we get people sent on Messenger, and we do reply to everybody. We make sure we reply to everybody, because I think it's just, so I'm moving up because Doc taking most of the chair up now. So courteous to do that, because people are taking time out to, watch what we do. So we do try and reply as quick as we can.
And that's the way we feel as well with our social media and such. I say to myself that I hope I never get to the point where we grow where we are not able to answer and interact with those that take time for us.
Yeah.
So far, you guys are doing a bang up job with that. You guys are doing really well with that.
Thank you.
Before I get to Lee's question, I must ask you to go ahead and let people know how to find you on your social media accounts.
Yeah, sure. We're on Facebook, Mystic Paranormal UK. We have got a YouTube channel, which is I've got to get this right, Scott. It's MP UK Paranormal. It's not a big channel. It's just where we put odd little videos up. And we also on TikTok, and that's Mystic _paranormal _ UK. And you can find us on them platforms.
I will encourage you guys that are watching this tonight or on the replay, take the time and go find these guys. You will not be disappointed if you subscribe and follow, and they will definitely keep you guys entertained. And they do so much stuff with paranormal and even just general chit chat some days. I've seen you guys just sit back and talk to people.
Yeah, we do. Like tomorrow night, we've got very good, a young lad who I used to work with some years ago, and he went through a really bad time with mental health and stress. So we do every month. He comes on and he does like meditation, helps people with stress. Anybody could come on that show, and if people are struggling with mental issues, they could come on and chat to us. And Jake's open to anybody contacting him, because at the moment I think it's a big thing over here is men's mental health. It's like a big push that we don't talk about it. So we decided every month to do like a show, a chat where anybody could come on, have a talk. If you want to air the problems and help, we can do, and Jake will help them through that. So that's another that's away from the paranormal field, but that's something that we do as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Lee wants to know how many people are involved in Mystic Paranormal.
Right, Lee. So we've got like three main members, like say myself, my son, and Azaria. which is our Ben's girlfriend. My wife helps out with some of the content on Facebook. She monitors chats for us. She does the TikToks. I'm no good with anything like that. Social media, I'm all right to just go alive. That's me done.
Dancing.
Yeah. So there's just really 4 of us. Oh, and 4 of us at the moment. But we have also my other friends, James and Gemma, who've got a very young family. They come out now and then with us. But James has gone back to university. He wants to become a school teacher, so he's taking some time out. But I've only got to give them a ring. Can you help us out with this? And they'll come and help us. So there's about 6 or 7 of us at the moment that are with Mystic Paranormal. But like I say, mainly 3 of us at the moment who do it. So yeah, and I think it works. We make it work with 3 of us. I think sometimes, as you know, Scott, probably yourself, I don't know how many is in your team, but when you go out with a big group, it sometimes can tamper with the evidence, I feel. A smaller group, you can control the environment, can't you, that you're in, and the environment that you're investigating. I don't know how you feel about that. I don't feel like bigger groups or not.
They both have their benefits. Right now, with quick count, without going through, I believe there's 7 of us in our group, which seems about average for the Americas. Generally, all 7 is not on an investigation in one spot. So I know what you're saying. The smaller crew, you can kind of get more into it and such. But it's nice to have the bigger group because, like you said, when something comes up, you can call them up and say, "Hey, we need this many people." Just recently, we were in a bigger building and we didn't have enough people. It was we were way underestimated the size of this place. In reality, we probably could have used 15 people for the place. That's how big it was.
That's a big place. That's a big place.
It was. It is a big place. It is.
See, also with big teams, like we do a lot of historical sites, and some of the historical sites out in the wilderness, you have to you have to hike to them, and sometimes you can get a bit. You got to be careful. You can be a bit we have a lot of people that live out in the woodlands, homeless people and stuff like that, unfortunately. And sometimes you do come across these, and you don't know how they're going to act. And if there's only myself, Ben, and then this Azaria, sometimes it does pay to have a few more people there, if you know what I mean, for if anything happens. Lucky enough, we've had nothing bad happen to us. We do tend to talk to everybody and leave them alone. If you want to be left alone, you leave them alone and move somewhere else. You know what I mean? So, but there's benefits of big groups and small groups, like you say, Scott.
Now, I will point out, because I think I pieced it together from what you just said a minute ago, is the voice we're hearing in the background is nothing paranormal. It's your wife?
It's my wife, yeah. Oh, Scott, it's you know what it's like.
I will not do that on this show. I don't need
She's trying to find it on Facebook, that's all. It's the Warren Area Society Paranormal page, Catherine. So she can watch, that's all. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. She points me in the right direction, Scott. You know.
She keeps you honest, huh?
Keeps me in line. That's what it is.
Let's see. I thought I had the link for this. I was wrong. I was going to send you the link. But yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to find on Facebook.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I just wanted people to know, because we couldn't quite make out what she was saying, but we could hear her.
Yeah, you can hear. You can hear it, Scott. Trust me.
Like, hey, that's like my significant other son stays in the door behind me here.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, he'll pop out and walk through to do whatever he does. And I make sure I point out he is a living person. He's
not a spirit.
Hello, Azaria.
Oh, that's Azaria. That's our Ben's girlfriend. Hi, Azaria.
I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, she's watching as well. She's a brilliant medium. I don't know how you feel about having mediums in group. See, we've not really had a medium in the group until Azaria came along, and
I think
it's helped us a lot. Really has helped us a lot.
I think I'm an average large.
I think I'm an extra. I'll be an extra large, Scott. I think, but yeah.
I'm sorry, poor dad joke there. But I'm not very convinced on a lot of people having the gifts. I do believe there's people out there, and I will take your word because you work closely with her. Yeah. But it's been very few and far in between where I feel that there is such a thing. And I do believe in them. There was a woman who was in our group who passed a few years now who had extraordinary gifts. So with that, does she go into the group when you guys are out on investigations and you say that you have a medium in your group, or is that something that you kind of use in the background to investigate?
She goes with us. We don't tell her. We do. Obviously, we go back to places what we've investigated before and where she's been before. But if we go to a new place, we just turn up. We don't tell her nothing about where we're going. And she is pretty. We've had a couple of mediums in the group, like you say, Scott, but they weren't. I'm not being rude to anybody. They weren't as accurate and as good as what Azaria is. But we do try and keep as much information away from her as we can. But she's an honest person. She will tell you, are you seeing it? Are you sensing anything, Azaria? Are you, and she'll say, no, I'm not picking nothing up. She won't make anything up she's an honest, she will tell you how it stands. She's very to the point. So if we're not picking note up, she'll say, no, I'm not, there's nothing here.
Doesn't
I can't pick it up. And that's how honest she is. So,
and that's
but then she'll go and she will pick things up. So,
that's good to be. And she says, to answer the question that Paul didn't answer, yes, people know I am a medium.
Yes. See, she always corrects me. This is it, Scott. You see, she just tells me.
Today's youth, right? But so when you present the evidence to people, if you're in a home or whatnot, do you bring that up that she senses these things, or do you just kind of wrap everything up in one neat little package and say, here we are?
We do tell people. I mean, we have started doing private investigations for people. Where I work in an hospital, and people have now found out what I do. I don't really talk about it a lot at work, but people gradually find out what I do, in my spare time. So they've been approaching me. So I've had like a nurse come up about just before Christmas. I said, can I have a word with you? Yeah, I think they're sticking out in my house. Would you come and take a look? So yeah, no problem. We'll come and take a look. So we went in with Azaria. I did explain to her, look, Azaria is a medium, and all of a sudden Azaria said, right, can I just have a word with the lady herself? Yeah, took her away, and she came up with all this information that was actually correct, down to, she's going to correct me again now, Scott, in a minute. It's going to be another comment in a minute. There was a box that had been moved and put away somewhere, and there was some jewelry in this box. And she says, because it was actually her husband that was there, that sadly passed.
Yeah.
And she even knew that this woman had moved this box and put it somewhere, and he weren't too happy about that. And it was like simple thing, and she literally ran that investigation. Me and Ben we sat around taking some readings and stuff like that, and that's how it works.
We've been in that situation. I've been in that situation. Me and Lee and some of the others, when Ursula was doing her thing, we just kind of okay.
Yeah.
Catherine,
I've seen it, Scott. It's what I get.
Is that your wife?
I actually only pulled double XL, so no one puts another one in front of it. Another triple XL.
No doubt. Yeah. And Azaria says, to be Frank, right?
Different Frank. Oh, I can't get them words like that.
More like large. The F was throwing me off for a second, and then it clicked. She must send it to me. Now, we won't. And the reason why I kept asking about the mediums and letting people know, because in our group, we were asked by Earth not to let the clients know. That's not what she wanted to be part of the group for. She wanted to be part of the group because she just enjoyed doing such things. So we kind of left it because, I mean, why go against somebody's wishes? So that's why I was kind of asking along those lines and such.
We're exactly the same. If the client asks us, they'll say who's coming, and we'll say, oh, it's myself, my son, and Azaria, and I'll say she's a medium. And if they say, oh, well, we don't want a medium, really, we won't take her. She won't go. Like I say, you've got to respect people's wishes. In private, because before, like over 3-4 months ago, we never did private investigations of people. It's just that some people's come forward now, says, oh, would you come and take a look? And we find it different to investigate. Like, you'll know yourself, it's completely different doing an investigation or a private investigation. As long as you're professional when you go in, I love it. Really do like it.
That's a big thing. And you said she was going to do this. Says, there's something significant between the two. It's in a box. They're safe in the wardrobe.
Yeah. Oh, and you can't understand why it's in the wardrobe. As you said, it's my engagement ring and wedding ring. It's in a safe in my wardrobe. Yeah. It was just a weird night for us because we didn't really have to do anything. And like I say, Zara and for a 17-year-old to do that, take somebody away and cope with like she did, were brilliant. Really, so she's a good asset to the team.
And I apologize. It looks like I'm cutting in and out sometimes. So
no, it's fine. No, it's fine, Scott. Fine.
So, but yeah, always nice to have extra help. I will say, and then we'll move along away from that subject. I don't know if you guys have ever heard. A couple hours away from me, there's a little town called Lilydale. And it's a little community, maybe, I don't know, 80 people or so. And the whole town is full of psychics, tarot readers, psychic church, sells all kinds of crystals and readings and things like that. Have you heard of the place?
I have never heard of that place, but it sounds somewhere I like to visit.
Oh, they make they're pretty busy during the summer, that's for sure. They even made it onto a hit TV show called Supernatural.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So that was an interesting episode, which looked nothing like the town. So
I should love to go there.
So if you guys ever make it to our neck of the woods, I'd be happy to take you.
Well, I tell you, Scott, it's an ambition of mine to come to the States. Something I've always wanted to do, never had a chance, but we never know. In the future, hopefully, we could pop across.
Might be 2 years from now.
Yeah, you don't know, do you? You never know.
Lee would like to know, what type of equipment do you use on a regular basis? And she says that you love that show.
Yeah. I've never seen it, Scott. I've never seen Supernatural. She's terrible. Equipment wise, we've got a mixture. Ben uses he's a dowsing. He uses dowsing rods. Azara uses crystals. We do tend to use like the K2 meters, cat balls, trigger objects, flashing, your teddy bears, your trigger objects. We want to. Not many groups do, but in the UK. But yeah, Boris, we use like robots. I don't know if you've seen like a little robot that's got sensors on. You stand down, it picks movement up. And And also we do use Ouija boards in certain places. If it feels right, we'll use a Ouija board. So we do try and stop away from these apps. Really do. Like I say, we've got Spirit Box. It's like the basic equipment that we use, but like I say, it depends on where we're going. Sometimes Ben will just go out with the dowsing rods. If we want to try and find something, Ben will use the dowsing rods to do that. So we just try and mix it up every time. But
Nice.
the cat balls and that are good for visual for people who's watching, aren't they? So you know what I mean. It's where you are. It depends on where we are, what we use really.
Now I'm sure Lee will put two and two together because we just recently purchased the cat toys, and I believe I got the idea through one of your live shows.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I mean, got the little cat balls, and I'm like that with them, Scott. When you start using them, you'll make your mind. I'm like that with them. Like you say, you press a button, they flash with your touch. But so if it's windy, we tend not to use them because obviously the wind can move them. But we have had actually one roll. It's actually in a church on an altar. So the altar's about 3 foot up. And it was on the edge of at the back of the altar for 2 or 3 hours. And then all of a sudden it started to roll, and it rolled to the edge, stopped, and then rolled to the right. And then literally stopped on the corner. And we actually caught it on camera. It initially stopped on the corner, and we've tried to debunk it, and we just cannot debunk it. That were amazing. That were one of the best piece of evidence we've caught. We have caught.
Awesome. But it seems like you're getting called out again.
Oh, I know. Just it's caused me to talk time, Scott. Just not put much. Just don't accidentally stand on a cat ball. Yeah, I do tend to stand on them when I can't see. Yeah, I'm a bit clumsy, Scott, when I'm out, and I break them and stuff like that.
And that's why I sit down, because I'm clumsy too.
Yeah.
All right. So how about this for an AI question? It says, what locations have you investigated, and what were the most interesting results? So any locations that come to mind.
Right, yeah. We've got one of our ones we like that's close to us. It's called Annesley Chapel. It's an old chapel. Ben will correct me on this, Ozari, on the date. I think it goes back to like 1600s. Where it's built. I mean, it's been altered through time. It's a ruin. It's got no roof on it, but that place is amazing. It's one of the best places I've been. It's the only place I've actually seen an apparition of a lady stood next to me when we're in the graveyard, because it's got like a real old graveyard to it. I wouldn't say it's a frightening place. But it's a very good at night. It's very creepy. And the other place I've been to that did scare us was, I can't remember the name of the church. It's a few hours drive from us, and that's again it's a church, and they have just actually took the windows out, the glass, and took the pews out of the church, but left everything else. Yeah. It's in really good condition, and we were there all day. We arrived there about 11 o'clock in the morning, and we stopped all day. It got to about 10 o'clock at night, and we got a really bad sulfur smell that came through. We were told to leave, and that was scary. That was.
Do you believe that the church was desanctified?
Yeah, we reckon. Well, the church is actually closed off on Halloween, and that because people do worship, devil worship in there. So it is actually closed off with the police on around Halloween, so you can't go in. And people have done that there. And when you get sulfur smell, it is linked to bad spirits and stuff. And we was advised to leave. So we did actually leave there. So they're two of the best locations I've been to.
I would have to assume that if you're smelling that the church was desanctified. I don't think that'd be able to happen. And she says, no correction needed. Good job, Paulina.
Yeah, my nickname's Paulina. Yeah, they call me Paulina, my nickname.
They really put it on tonight, huh?
You do it all the time, Scott. I'm used to it. But like, this is why I like having a younger people with us as well. It keeps me on my toes, keeps you going. You know what I mean? It's a good thing to keep me young.
I was about to say bravo, because I don't know if I have the energy to have keep up with the younger generations. I don't think I'm old, but I'm definitely not 20 either, or 25.
No, I'm definitely not 20. But
So,
like I said, they keep you on your toes and they keep you going and they have a laugh. And I think that's important as well in the paranormal, is enjoying yourself and having a laugh. And, you know, you take it serious when it needs to be taken serious. And then in between, if there's a chance to have a laugh, relax. And I think it's very important to do that.
correct. And it was kind of funny you were leading into being scared or whatnot, scary places and such, because the next question is along those lines. How do you handle fear while you're in that line of, paranormal investigating and such?
Right. Well, basically try making jokes, lightening mood. You see, I don't get frightened now of the paranormal. I get more frightened of the living. But like I say, yeah, Woodlands, I don't like. There's something about me. I hate Woodlands, woods, forests, especially at night. I just don't like. I don't like. But I don't like them. But if you get me, I like going to investigating them because it gives you that bit of that adrenaline.
Right.
Adrenaline rush. Yeah. And sometimes when we handle fear, we just have a laugh, try and crack a joke to, something big goes off. It's like, and it scares us a bit. It's like, try and make a bit of a joke out of it, and then you do tend to relax, then, don't you? Make a bit of a joke out of it.
Now, when you speak of woodlands and such, I've spoke to other people over in the UK, and your guys' woodlands are not generally what we would call them here. Ours, according to the others I spoke with, ours over here are more denser, more larger populated woods as opposed to.
100%.
You would agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, one of the biggest woodlands we've got is called Cannock Chase. It's quite famous over here for the black-eyed children, UFOs, and that's like Birmingham. That's like south of us. And that's the biggest woods that we've been in. But your woods go on for like miles and miles and miles, don't they? Where doesn't really, yeah. But some of your woods, I'd love to go in some of those. Especially, I like to have a go at Bigfoot hunting. I'd love to go and have a look for Bigfoot over there.
You need to come to where I'm at. Woods, Bigfoot, UFOs by the dam, all you want there. Believe it or not, part of my bus run in Sheffield, Pennsylvania.
Sheffield. All right, we live near Sheffield, England, Sheffield. It's literally like 11 miles away from us, Sheffield. That's weird, that, yeah. So you got Sheffield over there as well, yeah.
Where I'm currently at, I'm about 30 miles from Sheffield. But my bus that I drive goes from Warren into Sheffield and back. But there's woods all around that. And part of my run is on Route 666.
Oh, blooming heck.
It runs right through Sheffield.
Oh my word. That's weird, that, but it's 666, that's a great route to go on, that.
I would think so.
I'm not that bad. She's 18 in a month. Yeah, it was his birthday in a month. So have you got Bigfoot near you then, Scott?
In a month I'll be 48, and
right, man. I'm older than you then.
Well, I don't. Yeah. I look older, but I try to stay out of the woods when I'm looking all like this, so people don't mistake me for Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Have you ever experienced anything like Bigfoot, Scott? Or
the closest thing that I've experienced, and she says you usually run away from moths instead.
I do. I ate insects. That's another. Yeah. But, butterflies, moths, and spiders. I can't stand.
Can't stand. You wouldn't like it. My place. I'm right on the river. We get all kinds of insects.
Oh, no. I feel like that.
Nothing like rolling over in the morning and seeing a spider by your web.
No. I'm out there. We get some over in there, like little tiny things like that, and I'm out the house. So Ben has to catch them.
But as far as Bigfoot goes, my personal experience, and I'm not even sure if I would say it's Bigfoot, but me and Stephanie, my significant other, was scouting out a location we were going to investigate later, camping site during the day, and it just seemed off. It seemed like really still, really heavy at times, and then it would kind of lighten up and seem natural. Then it would start getting a little heavier and such. And we were there, say, 15 minutes maybe, roughly. And when it started getting heavy and silent, we could almost hear like a whooping type noise in the distance. And it would go, it seemed like it seemed like the same person or being doing it, but at different spots along the woods. Like it was trying to find a good way to get to about where we were. So eventually I said, we don't have no protection, no knives, no guns, no nothing, no campfire going to grab a log out of. So I said, it's probably best we leave now.
Yeah, so, I think I believe in. Yeah. Well, yeah. So what we watched, we've got a program of our show. It's Bigfoot Hunters, I think it's called, or Hunting for Bigfoot.
With Bobo?
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love that program.
Is that with Bobo?
Yeah. What, sorry? Bobo. Yeah, that's it. Well, I've just corrected. We should go to bed now. She's at work in the morning. Yeah, Bobo.
Actually,
brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
Actually, the woods that we're connected to where I live up here in Warren and such, they did a show not too far from where we are.
Oh, blimey. Yeah. Another one that's over here at the moment that's quite big is Skinwalker Ranch that we've got over. And I found that very interesting as well, because that's very like the UFO side of things, isn't it, there? And I found that quite interesting as well.
Definitely. Skinwalkers, I haven't touched too much into it, but for some reason lately I've been hearing a lot of people speak of them, so I'll probably look into it before long.
Yeah.
So once again, I'm reading from the AI a little bit. I don't know if I like this or not, because it tends to break up my train of thought, but I'll ask it. Why not?
It's all right. It's worth a try, Scott. Worth a try.
Something different. It's asking, what kind of fascinating phenomenon have you encountered during your investigations? Anything that really fascinated you, not scared you?
Yeah, we had a very good poltergeist incident at a where my wife works. She works at a coffee shop. It's a big coffee shop, and they brought it's a 2-story, very old building, and they brought the upstairs to it. So they've been renovating up there, and I said, "God, I loved." And the owner says, "I'm sure there's something up here. It gives me creeps. So can we investigate it?" I said, "Yeah, sure you can." So we do spend a lot of time there, and we were filming, and Ben, we were all behind the camera. And we're apparently going to touch this spirit called Bert. His name's Bert, apparently, that's there.
The spirit.
Next thing, we just heard this. It was like smoke whizzed by us. I thought, what? And it hit the wall on the far side of the room.
Yeah.
What was that? And we went across, and there were 2 pence, like a coin, 2 pence coin. literally stuck in the plasterboard wall. It actually come from behind us and like literally stuck. It went that hard. It was actually stuck into the wall.
Wow.
And when we picked it up, Ben picked it out, and it was really hot. It was really warm. This coin, and that really fascinated me because it was like I don't think we registered really what had happened at that time. Like, and then as the night went on, we really had something thrown. It weren't at us. It weren't. I don't think it was meant to harm us because it came from like behind us. But I've sensed things where we live in our house. Around Christmas time, we do get stuff moving about. So I have witnessed things move across the floor, and like dog toys will just roll across the floor.
Yeah.
But poltergeist, I think that coin, I think that was the most fascinating thing I've seen. That I thought, wow.
So what you keep saying the term poltergeist? What would you describe a poltergeist being?
Well, I say, poltergeist. Obviously, it's the poltergeist means noise of spirit, don't it? But we class as poltergeist as noise of spirit, and also can move things as well. So it can interact with stuff. Obviously, noise of spirit. It can bang, can't it? Knocks, bangs, and stuff like that. But also, we personally class poltergeist activity as we can physically move something as well. Like the coin or a ball or something like that. It can move. It can actually physically move an item.
Now, and the reason why I ask that is because a lot of people that do not, and even within the paranormal field, seem to take poltergeist as in a evil entity and such, where the true definition, my understanding, is literally noisy ghost.
Noisy ghost, yeah.
So
and I don't think they're evil. I don't think it makes some poltergeist. I think that's the Hollywood, isn't it, that make poltergeist look. Like a lot of things, Hollywood does make stuff look very evil, don't it? But
movies do.
But I do think you need a lot of energy. You do need a lot of energy for a poltergeist or poltergeist activity to come along, if you know what I mean. So we do use a plasma ball, which is quite a big plasma ball we've got at the coffee shop. We'll plug it in for a few hours before we even investigate to try and build some energy up. I don't know if it works. I'm not saying it works or anything like that, but to see if it can build the energy up in the room.
I believe it does.
Yeah, and we play music as well. We play a lot of music before in the room, just to like build energy up. Because I don't know how you work, Scott, but like if you're happy and you're having a laugh in the room, it's positive energy into it. It comes out, and we do find that helps with. excuse me, that helps with getting activity as well. So
do you try to find time period music to?
Yeah, we've done that. Yeah, we Charleston, like 40s, 30s, 40s. We played there, and we've had a few things happen through that.
Nice.
We've been to a World War II camp, prisoner of war camp. We played obviously 1940s music over there to just try and build the energy up. We try anything basically. We'll give anything a go. People who's watching the stream will say, "Oh, try this. Why don't you try that?" And we'll take that on board and try it. Because, like I said, I don't think there's a right way and a wrong way of investigating. I think everybody's learning, aren't they, all the time?
Definitely.
How to get evidence.
And and I encourage people to watch other teams and such because, like I said earlier, I never thought about the cat toys until I caught your show, and so we could learn little things, or it might be how you set up your cameras, and somebody says, "Well, why did you do it like that?" And you say, "Well, we try to keep the camera towards the far wall so that way you can see who comes in and leaves the room."
That's it. Yeah.
So
because we've got a thing. You say if anything's going to happen, it's always going to happen off a camera, isn't it? It's how it goes, isn't it? Someone could fall, it's behind camera, so you've got to have your cameras to try and cover most of the room as well. And like you say, who leaves the room, who enters the room, so there's no foul play or anything like that, in it. So,
and not even foul play, just misidentification.
Yeah.
Because it's easy enough not to see somebody go in and you see something and think, oh, yeah, that's 100%. When in reality, even though it wasn't your intentions to fool somebody, it's happened that way. I believe most teams are genuine.
Mm.
They might.
There's some very good teams over in, and there's some teams, unfortunately, that it's entertainment. And I've got, like I said, we had a little chat show on this before Christmas, and I've not got a problem with people doing it as entertainment, as long as they quote, "This is for entertainment." You know what I mean? And but over here in the UK, we have got a bit of a problem with teams at the moment. It's some of these teams that are in it for like money, and make a living out on it. It's ruining it for teams like yourself and us who really take it serious and really want to find out if there is afterlife, or if there really is such thing as paranormal. And it's like taking it away from us, because everybody expects, if someone is new to it and comes to watch as a certain team that's like everything happens all the time, like, and then they see a genuine team like yourselves, or a load of teams that we know that are genuine and nothing happens. It's like, they don't know what they're doing. They're rubbish. They're not in activity. But anybody with a paranormal like yourself will know that you can't just turn the tap and it happens. It's not like that. You've got to work at it, haven't you? And keep going.
Let me add a little cliff note or such to what you said. I fully agree with what you're saying, with the thought behind it that you could earn money and make this a career without turning it into something bad.
100%. I totally agree with it. Totally agree with that, Scott.
So I believe you feel, if you don't mind me putting it that way, the same as me, that it's 100% respectable and capable to do to earn the money to do this, but be honest.
Be honest.
If you're for entertainment and some things might not be 100% or dramatized, just put that out there. Most people will appreciate it. Most people will still watch your stuff, and you'll be fine.
Just be honest. You know what I mean? Just be honest with people. Like I say, we try to be honest with people, and I think that's the way to go. Unfortunately, some people aren't honest with people, but that's people will find people out, won't they? They'll find who's. But like I said, I've got no problem with anybody making money from anything.
Right.
We've got a big thing at the minute over here. I don't know if you have one with pay-per-view. So
pay-per-view
to investigation. Oh yeah, you've got to do pay-per-view. That's not. We don't do it, but I've not got a problem with that. If people want to pay to watch somebody, it's their choice to do it, isn't it? They're not being forced to pay to watch it. It's their choice. So it's like it's swings and roundabouts, as we say over here. It's like juggling.
But people understand, and they'll quickly learn who's worth doing that and who's not. By one show, they'll be like, "Oh no, this is not what I wanted," and so they don't do the second, third show or fourth. You know what I'm saying? And this Lee is saying that was a lesson learned. I'm pretty sure he's talking about the cameras facing the door, because we learned the hard way where we had a camera with the back of the camera with the door, and we seen it moving and such. And after we thought about it, we couldn't use it because we couldn't honestly say that somebody didn't move a cord or something to get that camera to move. Not intentionally, but
Yeah, that's it. You're honest, though, Scott. That's the thing. We went to a place we call it the factory. It's up near us. It's an abandoned factory. We don't tend to do abandoned buildings, but this one's like on his doorstep, and everybody goes in there. And we went in there one night and we were filming, and it looked like we caught a shadow person go across a doorway.
Mm.
And we're like, wow, we've actually caught a shadow person on camera. And on the way back, Ben was saying, so I'm not 100% sure with this. I'm not happy that we've caught something. And it was going on for a couple of days. Our Ben's very thorough. He said, I've got to go back. And we went back at the same time at night, set all the cameras up how we were, and we did the exactly same thing again. And we found out there was actually a gap. There was a gap in the wall, and when the light hit it, the light was shining through onto the other wall through the doorway, so it made it look like there was a shadow going through. So we debunked it.
It's a shame, but
yeah,
it's better to be debunked than.
Yeah,
though I know that feeling. And sorry, Lee, I'm going to throw you under the bus, but we were watching this. We were at investigation. We had the laser grid up against the wall in a dark room and such. DVR set up and watching it, and he was at the monitor, and he seen a shadow go across the laser grid, and it was like, we were excited. Hey, we got it. There's something, probably along the same lines you guys are feeling. And, we put it up on a big screen TV. It was watching it, getting excited because we knew it was about the time. And when it came across, we seen on the big screen, we were able to tell that a cat had poked its head up to look at the laser system, and the cat casted blocked out the laser.
Yeah. It's good. This happens though, don't it, Scott? I'm very. Ben and Azari tell me to calm down because I'm very excitable. Because when I'm on an investigation, I'm like a little kid. Anything goes off, it's paranormal. It's paranormal. But they've calmed me down because just look through, like you say, with a cat popping its head up. You've got to look into that. But when you've looked into it, and we actually send some of our stuff to other people to look at, like Shoutmo Stone we work close with. They are a group that's skeptical. They're a paranormal group, but they're skeptical of paranormal. Yeah. So we'll send some stuff to them, and they'll send their stuff to us. This happened? What do you think this is? What do you think that is? And if you can't explain it, and then you can say it's possibly paranormal. But like I say, we work with Mark and that in their group, and they say they're skeptical. They more technical. They use different equipment to us. Where we believe in paranormal, they don't. But when we come together, it makes it sounds funny, but it works.
Oh, definitely.
If you know what I mean, because you've got two sides to. It's weird. It just works. It's strange. It just works. I don't know how it does, but it does.
So, and I'm not asking you to throw any salt on anybody. That's not what the question is about. Just more of a personal feeling on myself that has happened to me. But when you bring this stuff to them, and they say, "Well, no, I don't believe that's paranormal. That could be explained as this." You ever have that moment of like,
all time?
Sure it is.
All time, Scott. All time. We find stuff, and Ben. I keep going on about Ben and Azari, but they are a credit. They are really a credit to the team. They really are. Even with Azari being a medium, she still debunks, and it's amazing. And we had, what was it? We're outside, and the teddy bear fell over.
Okay.
Oh, it's not. No. It's the wind, Dad. Listen to us. No, it's not. It's paranormal. No, it's the wind. Oh no. All right. I go and have a sulk for a couple of minutes, but they are right what they're saying, and they was right. It was the wind. But yeah, we do get them moments. We think, I think I've caught something. Then you haven't caught. You just deflates you, don't it? But it drives you.
Definitely. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, definitely. Now, a lot of people are now skeptical of them, but orbs. I remember at one point everybody was so sure orbs were paranormal. And so, what's your thoughts?
Right, we've got a rule with our team. I'm not saying it's the right rule or wrong, it's right or wrong, but
For you,
when we're in a place and we catch an orb, now if there's more than 10 orbs, we just write it off. It's nothing. Now if you get a single orb that's just floating about, we can look at that and think, could it be something? I'm very skeptical of orbs, Scott, to be quite honest, but we have asked for orbs to come towards the camera, and they do. Just a single one, it'll come towards the camera. Can you go that way? And we'll point and it'll turn and go that way we're pointed. Don't happen that often. But you've got to take in consideration as dust and are they all moving in the same direction? Insects,
moisture.
I think if you want the answer, I don't think they are paranormal, really. But there could be one or two that possibly is paranormal.
Now, see,
I've seen them caught on picture with like a tail, a long tail coming off from them as well. But I don't know. I think it's one of those questions that's never going to be answered, Scott, isn't it? I really paranormal thing. You know what I mean? I
imagine not. But see, now you said something that I never thought about doing before, and I don't know if we'll ever do it. But I don't think anybody in our group has ever tried to talk to one and ask it to move in certain directions. That's actually interesting, and it was something that if I see on the camera, I might certainly try now.
Try it. Give it a try. It has happened. It's happened in our house. We've done it in our house, and we said, "Can you come towards the camera?" Then one will just come from nowhere towards the camera. Like I say, it don't happen all the time, but it's just find different ways, isn't it, to try and debunk stuff. And like I say, just give it a whirl next time you're out, Scott. If you're getting orbs, just give it a try.
It's either to debunk or add credibility. Lee says CGI, and he makes that reference to when we were a young group, probably less than a year, maybe a year and a half. We had cameras set up at a home apartment, and the whole night there was no dust, no nothing. And towards the end of the investigation, we had one camera pointing from the kitchen down the hall, facing 2 or 3 closed doors. There was like 1, 2 on the left side, a door on the right, and maybe one on the left. But either way, there's several doors, and a very clear, bright white orb was low to the ground and went forward, went underneath the door, came out of the door, came towards the other one, went underneath another door, and all that. And we posted it on Facebook, and if we put an orb out, we always put the disclaimer that though we don't put a lot of credibility in this, we find this interesting. Well, people started coming out. There was 3 or 4 comments saying CGI, computer graphic imaging.
You're going to get that. But that's remarkable, to be quite honest. If it's actually gone in a door and then come out, that's quite good.
Let me rephrase that. I don't want to make it sound like it went through the door. It went underneath the door is what I should say.
Still, if it's gone underneath the door, then dust wouldn't do that, would it? Be honest, dust wouldn't do that, would it? And
it stayed solid.
I'd like to see that. I'd love to have seen that.
I'll see if we can pull it up. It stayed solid the whole time as well. So it wasn't like it was fluctuating like dust does. But we were like, well, if we had the ability to do CGI, I'm sure it wouldn't be a dot floating through the
No.
air. Sure, it'd be
You'd be a full apparition, won't it? And a ghost carrying its head under its arm, wouldn't walk in that corridor. If you could do that, yeah, you'll just do an orb. Yeah, but you do get people like that, don't you? That's
definitely. We don't take.
Yeah, we've had we reckon that if somebody don't want to believe it, you can't make them believe it. You're never going to make them believe it, and that's fair enough. You know what I mean? That's fair enough.
But those that don't believe it and say comments and like that and such are still watching the stuff, still helping us gain views, and so they have to do
it.
So before we get too long, because I know it's getting pretty late there for you.
Yeah, I'm fine for a minute, Scott. You okay, mate? I'm enjoying it. I've enjoyed it. It's really good. Really enjoying it.
Time is flying by, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So what is your guys's, and I know this is going to be kind of a harder question to answer, at least I feel like it would be. Give us kind of your point of view on how you guys present and the evidence, like as in, how do you guys get to the point where you say, this is 100% paranormal, this is what we're putting out? You know, how does that go about?
Well, we'll put anything out, and it's same as photographs. We have a lot of people send screenshots to us, and like I say, we're so grateful that people take the time to send us photos, or they'll clip the video if you notice this, and we'll post it, and we'll say, right, this is a clip of this or photo of, and let people make their mind up about it. People say it's nothing. And that's how we do it. But if we really find something that we think's really paranormal, we'll run it by everybody and say, look, can we post this out and say, right, this is paranormal, or do we just put it out there and let people make their minds up about it? And that's the path we tend to go along. Is we'll put a clip out, Ben will clip it out. Oh, this happened. What's your any ideas of what could cause this? Is it, you know? And we'll let people comment on it, and make their minds up if it's paranormal. And you know, that's how we go about it, Scott. Really.
Have you had, and we've had personally had this done for us, have you ever put anything out there in social media land where you were pretty sure that was paranormal, and then in their chat or comments they say, well, no, this is not paranormal, this is based off an app, or this is this and that? Yeah. Did anybody catch them for you?
Yeah, we've had one where I was up at the graveyard. I took a picture, and we didn't see it at the time, and we got in contact with the child. We could actually hear a child. It sounds funny. It like squealed, if you know what I mean. We had like a child squeal. Okay. And this was about 11:30 in the graveyard, and there's going to be no child around. And we took pictures, snap. And somebody sent a photo, and you could see a child's face. Clear as daylight. Absolutely clear. And I thought, so we looked, and our bed even went on where you could download apps to put pictures, you know, add things to your pictures. We couldn't match it up to anything. We really couldn't match it up to anything. So we did put that on a Facebook page, on social media, and you got people say, oh, that's an app, that's that. But like I say, just that's great. That's your opinion. And what we do, we don't mind anybody criticizing anything that we put out there, as long as it's done in a right manner, and a polite manner. Well, obviously, you don't always get it polite, do you? You don't always get it in a polite manner. We've had if you don't mind me asking, telling, we had a very sad incident that happened this week with a message to Azaria, who I say again, she's a 17-year-old. Right. Somebody sent a very, very nasty message, calling her every name under the sun, calling her parasite, and the kind of comments that we don't say, right, you're gone. You know what I mean? And it's so sad when that happens. I mean, it's a 70-year-old child, but lucky enough, Azara is very thick-skinned. I don't know if you have that saying over in America. She's very thick-skinned. It just goes over her head. I think I was more upset over it than what Azara was. But like I say, I will stick up for any of my team members. Anybody says, but that's the only. We've had little bits of comments and trouble over last year, but that came through on Tuesday morning, and I thought, what? Why? I don't know what goes through people's heads, really, and it was very abusive, very, very abusive, and this was like to a 70-year-old girl. But we're quite lucky; we don't get many comments that's bad. I think we've got a really good followers who are really kind, and we're lucky. I think we really are lucky. I
feel the paranormal as a whole, for the most part, has been blessed with that. I don't think there's a lot of hatred from those that follow paranormal teams and such. There, you get the criticism, which is fine, like you're saying, and I fully agree. I put something out, you want to critique it, sure, but yeah, I don't think we have the negative with comments and messages and such like that. Yeah. And I'm sorry she dealt with that.
Well, she dealt with it better than what I dealt with it, I think, which just shows the maturity of her. Well, like I said, that's only, we have had a few in the past, but that one was just that was below the belt, I call it. The language used in it as well it weren't right. But we are, like I say, we are quite lucky. We don't mind any, like you, we don't mind any criticism. We get people saying, "Oh, why do you do that? I wouldn't have done that. Why?" And we'll answer it. You know what I mean? We had some criticism with somebody sent us a message, because sometimes when we go live on Facebook, we'll play like little intro music before we go live. Right. And somebody says, "What? Why are you doing that? That's rubbish." And the reason we do it, notifications go through, so it's just to let people get notifications through. So I don't want them to miss anything, because they've taken the time out to watch us again, and it's no good them getting a late, notification through. Turn on, and they've missed 10 minutes of what we're doing. So that's why we're playing music, but like I say, anybody has a question can ask us anything, as long as it's done in the correct manner.
And that's why my live shows, I do a long intro, and those shows that I'm doing pre-recorded or whatever, I got like 6 seconds. So yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. That's for sure. Lee says, where's your team based? And I know you had said it earlier, but the primary location. Yeah,
we're the UK, Lee. We're based in the Midlands, Derbyshire, which is smack bang in the middle of the UK. So we're that's what Midlands are, really smack bang in the middle of the UK. So that's where we're from. A little place called Chesterfield.
Chesterfield. Yeah, I've heard of there. I have.
Yeah, with a famous crooked spire on the church.
Now, why don't we go ahead and set this up for a hard ending at in 15 minutes, if you'd like.
That's fine, Scott. Yeah, fine, mate.
And that way I'm not keeping you up too much later.
That's all right. So now is Sunday, but I don't mind. I've got an easy day tomorrow, so I'm all right.
It's your Sunday or Saturday in the States. Now, I was going to say, how do you feel that is there any issues or benefits, do you believe, of being in the UK doing this as opposed to the Americas?
I think you've got a better para unity over there. I feel over in the UK, we haven't got that para unity yet. There's pockets of para unity over here, but I do feel, talk to Matt and that Unity over in America is working better than what it is here. That's one difference. And another difference, I think you've got some really good graveyards that we've not got over here to investigate, which I'd love to see. I'd love to investigate some of them graveyards that you have over there. Really would. But I think the big difference is in the UK and America is the Unity bit of it. I think there's a lot of falling out over here and not so much in the States. I don't know if that's because you're a bigger community than what is over here. I don't know, but I think that's the biggest difference.
See, now this is where me and Matt, and when I say Matt, guys, most of you watching will know. Those that don't, we're speaking of Matt Barron and the paranormal consultant. He's fully into the Unity, and I am as well, and you are as well, Paul. But I have a personal belief in that Unity is based on geographical location. The further the team is away from you, the more willing you are to have that unity.
Yeah, 100%.
So I hate to view it that way, and I operate as if that's not true because I hope it changes, but that's my personal belief.
I completely agree with you. Completely agree. Like round here, you've got pockets of groups, and they don't want to see. We're lucky. We go out with 2 other groups that's in our area. We get on with them really well. But then you've got like 15 other groups where it's like you just can't approach them. You just cannot. There's too much competition, and I don't know why there is competition, because at the end of the day, this is where I was on about earlier on, where people are in it just for themselves. I think paranormal, everybody's after the same goal. If you're in it for the right reasons, everybody's after the same goal as finding, is the life after death, is an afterlife, is this. And if everybody worked together, which I don't think will ever get perfect, you're going to find that quicker.
Well, if we get
find that quicker, aren't you? Yeah,
I would believe so. 80% would be nice. Rose says, Rose Jean says, sometimes you have to be a duck and let it roll off. You guys are awesome. Keep it going.
Oh, thank you, Rose. Yeah, you do. You do. I think it wouldn't have bothered me if the comment that we received, if it were about myself, I'm that long it tooth. That's another saying. I don't know if you have that in America. It means you're old. It'll just go off my head. Same as Ben, but when I feel protective of my members in my team. I feel protective over them, and I will protect them as much as I can. You know what I mean? They're younger than me, and I hate bullying. I just despise bullying, and when that happens, I think sometimes you've got to, like I say, I think it affected me more than what it affected them too. And that's how it is. I just feel very protective over them. Like probably you do with your group, Scott. You feel protective of your members, don't you? You want 100%. Them to be okay and not get abused like that.
Right. 100%. Yeah, I feel if the roles were in my place, I would be the same way as you are. Yeah, and that's it. I know literally part of the group is your family, but the whole group becomes your family.
That's what I was going to say. They classed as my family. Everybody that's in our group is classed as family. My close friends are classed as family, like with yourself. You know what I mean? And it just doesn't. It don't hurt just to be respectful, does it? And at the end of the day, and some people just can't grasp that. I don't think so. Or
they don't realize you're as close.
No.
Lee says, what is your most memorable investigation experience?
Oh, my word. Right. Now that's put me on the spot, Lee. That has. I'm trying to think of the best one that memorable. But I've had quite a few. I don't think, and I'm going to be a bit off of the thingy. I don't think it's the paranormal activity that's most memorable. I think most memorable is spending time with my family out investigating, doing something that we all love, and taking friends along with us. I mean, them times where everybody's getting on, everybody's happy, and we're doing something that we love. And I think that's, I mean, it might sound a bit corny, but I think that's the most memorable to me.
And then
when I'm told to do this, I'll think back and think, wow, I spent some good times with my sons and my wife out and it's doing something we all love. And I think that's the most memorable of what I reckon, myself anyway.
And then when you're heading home, you're reliving the night and talking about it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Next day, and you're still going on, and you get in real late. You'll notice like your adrenaline's still going into it, and you're stopping up and you're talking about it, having a drink of coffee and tea, and it's brilliant. It's something that you look back on, won't it? And you think, wow, they were great times. Definitely. You know what I mean? And that's how it should be.
Yes, indeed. That's for sure. It's the investigations are great, and it's nice when you get stuff, but it really is a bonding experience.
It is. It brings people together, don't it? Yeah. And it's great. It's just a good thing. I really enjoy it. When I've been like yourself, you've been at work all day, and you know what I mean, and you go out and you forget about your bad day you've had at work, and you're with your family and friends, and you're enjoying yourself, doing something you love, and it's that's what you've got to keep hold of. That's important. Well,
I never really wanted to say out loud that I had a bonding experience with Lee, but we'll let that go. But you were talking about cemeteries and such. That seems to be some of your favorite places.
Yeah, we've got two. We don't investigate cemeteries that's in use now. We don't. We that's a no over here. So they're like abandoned cemeteries that we go to, and we've got two. We're very lucky. One's within 2 miles of us, and other one's within 8 miles of us. But I love cemeteries. It's just something about. It's like in every horror film, it's got there's a decent cemetery, and I think it's just brilliant. And looking at the gravestones from like 1800s, 1700s, you look at the dates, and I just love. But some in America that I've seen are absolutely massive. It's like you need a car one end to go to another. You know what I mean? They really are big.
Definitely. There's in states though we doesn't matter if it's still an active cemetery or not. We go into them. Now, like the one you're saying with it going from one side to the other, there's the one that I go to here and there is big like that, and they got some famous people there, but one of the more famous ones is Lucille Ball.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know if you know who that is.
I'm going to make myself look an idiot now. Is that a singer?
No, sir.
No, I told you I make myself look. I make myself look a idiot.
She's passed. Her husband was kind of a singer. She was on a hit TV show here in America, I Love Lucy.
Oh, I've heard of that. I've heard I Love Lucy. Yeah.
The main actress of that is buried in Jamestown, New York. But that cemetery is you drive through, and it takes a couple minutes to get through. Yeah.
It's all right, my dog's making an appearance every time I go live. He has to go on camera, Scott.
Now my view count's gonna jump up now that we have a cute puppy in the back.
Oh, it's 2-year-old Scott, and oh my word, it's terrible. You know, if we say we're going live, he acts up, and he's making a bed at now. I think he's making a bed on Saturday. That's all he's doing. But yeah,
I've got some of your shows where he's trying to get in front of the camera.
Oh, it's terrible. He climbs on desk. He does everything. Don't he, Ted? Well, he's lovely. I won't swap him for world. He's lovely.
A big ham. Lee says boo.
Boo. Yeah, boo.
That's due to a cemetery.
I love cemeteries, and there's one clip that's recorded in one of your cemeteries. I think it was a cemetery in America where was it like some soldiers walking?
Probably Gettysburg.
Yeah, where there's soldiers walking across they were driving and they were filming. I think they caught it on dash cam and they actually put in a cannon, I think.
That
Is that
sounds
the
like
one?
that sounds
Yeah.
like a Gettysburg deal.
Yeah, really good capture. Really good capture.
This is we were driving by, me, Lee, and Ursula was in the back, and we were driving by a cemetery, and we had just got done leaving the cemetery for that fact, but we were investigating, just three of us in the car. I'm driving, Lee's up front in the passenger side, and we go by a cemetery late at night, and I hear something, and I wasn't sure. It sounded like it might have came from him, so I'm looking at him, I'm looking at him, and he goes, finally he looks at me and he goes, "What?" I said, "Did you say something?" He goes, "No, what?" And I said, "I could have sworn," and I didn't think about it. I should have thought about it, but what I heard was literally the word "boo."
Oh, right.
And I'm like, I thought somebody said "boo," and he looks at me and goes, "Boo? Really? That's what they're going to come up with is boo?"
Boo. That's brilliant, isn't it? That's probably an intelligent spirit that said, "I know, I'll scare and boo." But yeah,
Right.
I mean, we've had that a few times where we've turned around and said, "What do you say?" It was, nobody else had anything. We went to a place, it's called Stanton Moor near us, and we actually found an abandoned hut. It's near a quarry. It's a couple 100 years old, and we did some investigations there, and we got somebody that whispered in my ear. We're like, "You." It's just said, "You."
Just
You.
one word.
And I said, what are you on about saying you? And he says, "I'm not, nobody said anything." And it was like, really in my ear, like you. And it was like, wow, you know, I still can't explain it. I don't know. But
I know what you mean.
Yeah, nobody said anything. They said, no, but just the woman's voice just said you in my ear, like you. And I thought, wow, what's that?
The crazy thing is three people in the car, and I'm the only one that heard
it. Yeah. It just probably connecting with you, isn't it, Scott? You know what I mean? Don't you ever see, when you're traveling on your buses then, and you had anything weird happen
on the bus? I've heard some whistling from time to time. Just random whistling on the bus. But the station itself, I believe, has activity. The bus station itself. The river flows by, so I don't know if that's where it's getting the energy from. But we have our meetings at my work because I got a boardroom. And this particular night, we were bringing on 2 new members, and we were showing them some of the equipment. And I was with the one new person, and the other members was with the other ones. And I had the EMF detector, and all of a sudden it started interacting with us. It started going up. And I could tell this woman, being new, was kind of getting a little shaky about it. So I was like, go get the other people, please, because I felt pretty safe in that situation.
Yeah.
They weren't too far off. And so they came back. We got some small interactions with that. But I tell you, it was kind of a blessing that happened that night, because the girl that was with me got so scared about it that she never joined up. She just kind of disappeared. Actually, we didn't reach her for a month or so afterwards. So I'm happy that it happened there.
And you found out, it's not for everybody, is it? It's not for everybody. People think paranormal's, it's a good laugh, and it can be scary, can't it? Something happens, it can be frightening, and some people can't handle it. And some people have had experiences and left for a bit and then come back, can't they? And you know what I mean? It is just takes that one event that everybody's used to something, but it could be one really strong event that happens, and it can do you, can't it? And then
it's blessing that it was there, not in the client's home, because if we would have been somewhere and they freaked out and left, then that puts the wrong impression on the client, where
Yes, it does.
these guys are professionals and they're scared. If they're scared, then we should really be scared. So I'm happy that it worked out that way. I felt bad for her, as did the group, but we also got a pretty good, I don't ever truly classify, but I would say a Class A EVP that night. And if I get a chance, I'll get some of this stuff to you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, especially that orb. That orb we was on about. Yeah.
Well, this
we use EVP, but we've not really caught, I'd say, a decent EVP, apart from the cottage when that woman said you and me here. We did one there. We did footsteps on it, and nobody was moving about. But that's about the best one we've ever caught.
Well, this is where we have the same night. There was a couple of them talking, and you could hear in the distance the start of whistling, and it grows, then fades away, almost like somebody was walking by and whistling to themselves. Now, my boss passed away about a year before that, and he used to absentmindedly whistled as he was walking and going about his day.
Yeah.
So that was pretty neat.
Link on it. Yeah. It's a shame I'll bend into him, because he'd gone that sounds like a bit of stone tape. That does to me. I don't. You obviously know what stone tape theory is, but our Ben's a big believer in that stone tape theory. Short version of it is like when somebody passes, if it's a dramatic way, or so the energy can get trapped in the stone or the fabrication of the building. And then over time, it can be replayed. So sometimes you might just get, like you say, whistling, or you might get someone just walk in front of you. And like, whoop. But it happens quite often. The same thing. Don't interact with you. And it takes the same route. It just walks in front of you. This is why you get like soldiers where you see. All I've seen with the top half for a soldier, it's seat legs. And that's because the ground's been built up. So you're just seeing the image go off, the image go through the thing. That's our Ben's a big believer in that.
I believe in that as well, but I also believe that sometimes, like in that situation, it was my supervisor that passed away. It's because he was really in love with the bus system. That was his whole life. So I don't believe it's a recording, as you're saying. I believe it's a personal choice.
It's come back, it's come back to
right.
Because he would go if you. I mean, what's stopping you coming back and go to places that you like, and you know what I mean? There's nothing stopping you do that, is there? Really? Hopefully, I don't think I'd go back to my place of work, to be quite honest. But yeah, it's weird.
This gentleman would. I could see him being. That was his whole. It wasn't work. It was a hobby for him.
He loved his job. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's great. That's good. If you like that, that's good.
Me, if I come back and we have a choice, I would be doing a movie theater, concert place, or somewhere we could have different entertainment left and right.
Yeah. So we're going on full time. Yeah. But yeah, we never know, do we, Scott? We'll probably know in the future, but not yet. But yeah, it's been great. I've really enjoyed this chat, Scott. Tonight, it's been really good, really enjoyed it, mate.
I did as well, and I believe the ones that are watching has been enjoying it too, because though they have asked some questions, not very much. So they a bar. No, I don't think I would go to a bar, because you wouldn't be able to drink, and then how depressing would that be?
That's bad, isn't it? That's bad. You're going to a bar, you've got to have a beer, aren't you, or somewhere?
I would be so sad. But so I feel that we've had people watching all night, but they've been intently listening, or at least I hope intently listening. And so great. I feel that we've carried on this conversation good enough where they felt they've asked what they wanted and pretty much left us alone. So
that's good. That's hopefully. I hope they enjoyed it. But like I say, I've really enjoyed it, Scott. Really been nice talking to you. I'm glad eventually to get on your show as well. So.
And I wouldn't mind being on yours one of these nights as either.
100%, Scott. Whenever you got time, mate, you message me and you're on. You're guaranteed to come on, 100%. Don't you have to ask? Just say, Paul, I'm coming on your show next show. Yeah, you're on. That's it. Yeah. Like I say, we try and get a different mixture of people on.
I'll set I'll set you up on the bus, and as I'm driving, we'll talk, and as people
that'd be fantastic. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, brilliant.
We'll interview the riders as they come on, and
ask them where they're going, what they're doing. It'll be all right. Go about 4 or 5 hours out of that, couldn't we?
And how many people on your side would be confused when they say, "Oh, I'm going to Sheffield"?
Yeah, say, hold on a minute, they're a good upright. That's so weird that you go near Sheffield and we live near Sheffield, England. It's like, but we've got New York, not far. We actually got a New York as well, a little village on the coast near Lincolnshire, and it's called New York. And that's
we're about
not many people live there.
But, we're about a half hour away from New York. so weird. We're pretty close to the same names, though we're many miles away.
Many miles apart. Yeah. But this is good. I mean, this internet is fantastic, isn't it? So you can talk to people at the other side of the world, and it's great to get other people's views from a different country. I've made since joining P3 with Matt, yourself. I've met some really nice people and got upper class. Everybody's friends as well, and it's brilliant. We've got to keep up all your good work, Scott, and we'll be fine, mate. We'll get there.
You have a lovely night. Go ahead and get that beauty sleep. Thank you.
I need it. I need beauty sleep, Scott. Trust me. It's now 20 to 2 in the morning, but hey, I'm all right.
Thank your wife for letting me borrow you for the night. And
she won't mind about that, Scott. I'm at it. Wait, don't bother her. But anyway, Scott, it's been fantastic talking to you. Stay safe. Everybody that's watched, thanks for watching, and stay safe, mate.
And
we'll see you later.
We could get a part 2.
Yes, 100%.
Awesome. You guys here.
Make sure you get on our show as well, Scott. We'll organise that for you.
Will do. Have a great night.
Okay, Scott. Right. Good night, everybody, and thanks for having me on. See you later. Bye-bye.
Well, guys, what a wonderful, wonderful show. That's for sure. I appreciate you guys coming on and listening. Sorry that you guys didn't ask as many questions as you could have, but really, really, really was a wonderful conversation with me and Paul and Mystic Paranormal. So I feel there was so much more that we could touch on, and that's why I asked for a second night with this. So maybe it might be a Sunday afternoon or something, so it's not so hard on his time frame, because it is 2:00 in the morning there. Could you imagine being up that late doing a show with me? But I will keep doing these shows as long as people are willing to come on it. I really enjoy doing them, and I enjoy having you guys along for these adventures. So without further ado, I'd like to say have a wonderful Saturday night and stay spooky, my friends.
Well, hey everybody, thanks for stopping down, and appreciate the visit. Now get the hell off of my porch. We'll see you the next time. Come on back.
You guys are still here. How many Saturday nights are you guys going to do that where I have the ending and the outro and all that? You guys are still watching. Who's still here? Drop me a hello real quick if you're still here. But no, in all seriousness, I am done for the night. I'm probably going to jump over on Matt's stream, Matt Barron on the Paranormal Consultant. He's doing some live investigating. So I might jump on there real quick and mess around with him. But if you want, join me over there. That's Paranormal Network. I believe that's where the show is being broadcast. And probably be there about 5-10 minutes. Then I will be done for the night. But I appreciate you guys really hanging out and kind of just enjoying these last few minutes with me. Call this the after show. Call it the thank you for being diehard watchers and such. You know, you guys rock. So I've been watching where I end the show and then I see you guys are still on. So I always, I thought I'd come back on for a minute, like an encore act, and say, hey, hope all is well with you guys. So I don't know what else to say. See you next time, guys. Stay spooky. You die-hard paranormal fanatics. You guys are the true rock stars. See you later.